What is up, gamers, and welcome to another bedwars video. In today's video, I'm going to be playing some good old bedwars games, but I'm also going to be talking about how I scammed my entire 7th grade business class. How I became an underdog, how I became a tyrant, how I did some, emotional torture. I'm not proud of it. I definitely am. Also, this video is a bit of a longer one, so grab some popcorn, grab some snacks, and I hope you enjoy. So let's start at the very beginning. Let's give some background information. This is a 7th grade business class. I don't know how long ago that was. I'm gonna guess it was like 4 to 5 years ago. I could probably do the math, but I don't know. I'm in 11th now. It was 7th grade. You can mathematics it up. Now, in this said business class, we have many different simulations. Well, simulate what it was like to have a business. There was Now, there was different forms of, simulations. One of them was, a Shark Tank style simulation where, you had to pretend you were, an entrepreneur on Shark Tank and, appeal your product to the sharks, that's what they're called. Another one was where you had to, remodel a home or something, pretending that you're, a home designer person or whatever. A lot of these simulations were very, very small, very, not important, but I did win every single one. I also have mining fatigue. Oh. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that the simulations aren't important. All you have to know is that I've won every single one, and I've never lost, and I'm just the best, I guess. Now, the last simulation, the last, week-ish of class, was the life simulation, where, as the title says, you can probably guess what we were simulating. We were simulating just life in general. Each student can make their own, business model. We had, a mayor or whatever of some sorts. Now, me having won every single simulation before, I'm not going to lose on the last simulation. So I was determined to win. I was basically willing to do whatever it would take to win, even if it meant being corrupt and abandoning previous friends. In fact, this isn't the first simulation where I had to abandon a friend to win, I guess. The first simulation we did had 5 people, and we were 5 goats marketing. We were a marketing agency or something. And then we went on to 4 goats real estate, and then 3 goats Shark Tank or whatever. Or no, order doesn't matter. And so the life simulation, you were basically on your own. You could team up with other people if you wanted to make a combined business model. So me and my good old friend John, we'll call him John, I guess, we were part of the goats, I guess you could say. We were the last 2 goats remaining together. Also, I hear blocks. Okay, cool. Also, I know the name is super cringy, but I was in 7th grade, so keep that in mind. Now, at this point, me and John were dedicated to becoming the richest people, but we had little Timmy over here, not really their name, but for privacy reasons. Timmy started selling real goody goods. They went to the store with their mom, they bought some candy, and they started selling it for racking up those Bills bucks. They were titled Bills bucks because our teacher's name was Bills, so I thought it was fitting. And what I tried to do is I tried to become a casino, because I was oh, the casino house always wins. House does not always win, I'll tell you that. I mean, I won in the end, so technically the house does always win. But it is hard for the house to win if nobody goes to the house. Everyone knew casinos were a scam, okay? It was a business class. I don't know why I was trying to trick business class people into making poor business decisions. So since my semi-ethical casino wasn't gonna work, I had to throw ethics out the window to catch up to everyone else who's already been winning with their awesome business models. Also, we had this thing that's called life stamps, and the teacher could determine if a business was worth awarding a life stamp. Did that guy just open his bed? What a genius idea. Way to open. You're on fire. Basically, you could get these stamps, and stamps are another form of winning, I guess. You could win by having the most money, or winning by having the most stamps. Now, there was different types of stamps. There's experience stamps, and then there was good people stamps or whatever, I don't know, for giving to charity or whatever. So that way people were incentivized to buy cars, for those who had a car dealership, even though we're in a classroom. You can walk 2 feet over. It's not like the car's gonna change anything. For some reason, a casino isn't worthy of a stamp, so I was losing hard. Okay, no one came to my casino because they were just gonna lose money, as well as they don't get a stamp for going, so there's literally no point. But I wasn't gonna back down. I wasn't gonna stop there. Okay. So me and John, the last remaining goat, if you will, he became mayor. Also, that speed bit was so fast. Anyone else want to agree? Comment agree? Don't comment agree? Don't comment agree? Now, John was the mayor because he was also a little bit corrupt. But the difference was he was like a villain, but he wasn't a super villain like me. So he was mayor, and so I thought, wow, my casino's not working. I'm gonna lose to Tom or Timmy. I don't remember this guy's name. I'm gonna lose to him because he's selling real things, and everyone obviously wants real food instead of fake stamps that really mean nothing outside of this class. But not me, okay? I was an absolute megamind genius. So one of the people in my class, we'll name him Brody, he was trying to be a rapper, okay? I don't know if he was seriously trying to become a rapper, like on SoundCloud or whatever, but in this game, he was a rapper. He was like Lil... I don't know exactly, but it sucked. His name was pretty awful. And so I told this guy, hey, listen here, Brody, I'll let you perform in my casino if you want to hold like a concert. And since everyone in the class really just thought this guy was funny, you know, he was like the popular guy who for some reason also wanted to be like a SoundCloud rapper, a lot of people actually bought tickets for this concert I was holding in my casino. And I thought, wow, I'm a genius, but I'm not going to stop there. I went to the Timmy guy, okay, the one who's selling real goods, and I said, hey, listen here, buddy old pal, you want sales? This guy was already getting so many sales, but I was like, you want sales? I got this. What is this guy doing? I told him, hey, I got a great venue if you want to sell your goods. I got this concert I'm going to be hosting. We got Lil Banana performing. I don't know if that was his name. I'm just going to call him Lil Banana. And surprisingly, Timmy said yes. And I was like, cool, I'll just take 50% of the profit. And he, some reason, agreed. He was doing fine without this venue. He probably would have made more money if he didn't go there, because about only half the class actually went to the concert, and people probably would have bought his goods outside of the concert for full price, and I wouldn't have gotten half. But that's besides the point, okay? Scammer, scam. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, wow, Vairal, that is so evil. You really tricked them. That was so evil. It wasn't, okay? I'm not there yet. Remember that John guy I was talking about, how he was mayor? Well, I was his like vice mayor, and like Timmy was the secretary or whatever. Or maybe it was vice versa. Maybe I was the secretary and Timmy was vice mayor. I don't really remember. But what's important is people started to not like this John guy for all the stuff he was passing, all his laws. For one, he made it require that every citizen owns a gun. Also, if you didn't know, he was the owner of a gun shop. Another thing is he made taxes super high just so he could get more money because he just pocketed it for himself. And then also it got to the point where he started like requiring people to spend $5,000 if they want to use a chair for that class. Also, I think I just trapped myself. Now me, being Mr. Frugal man that I am, I didn't sit in a chair for an hour. I was like, fine, I can stand, I can sit on the floor. I'm not spending $5,000 just to sit in the chair. Oh my gosh, I hate this wood block. Now I started to see John as a threat, okay? Also, Luke, can you just stop for a second? I'm trying to tell a story. I saw him as like the biggest competition I could possibly have. He was corrupt like me. He was willing to do whatever it takes to become the richest. You see, the bad thing about John is he still trusted me. He still thought I had his best interest at heart, but oh, no. My interest is the only thing I was interested about. So, everyone starts to get mad at John for being a bad mayor, so they try to impeach him or whatever. But everybody loves this Timmy guy, okay? Everybody loves this Timmy guy. And so John knew that if he told Timmy, like, hey, can you put my good word in or whatever? Can you tell people not to impeach me or whatever? I don't know. I don't know the actual politics of this class or how everything works, but basically, John wasn't going to be mayor, and he offered Timmy money to tell him, hey, listen, put in a good word for me, and I'll pay you, or whatever. He also did the same for me, and I said, yeah, sure, buddy, John, I won't try to impeach you, and I'll vote in your good favor, and I'll tell everyone that you're actually good. Now, that was a lie. In actuality, I still technically didn't say anything bad about him. I just told Mr. Timmy, I was like, whoa, did he just offer you money to not say anything bad about him? You should come out and say stuff like this. And so when Timmy says, this guy just paid me money to say good things about him, the people agreed. They're like, oh, down with the tyrant. And so then they voted Timmy as the new mayor, and I became the vice mayor or whatever. And so now John was out. He was out of the picture. Except he wasn't, and that, I hate this game. John could easily go to, like, the police force or whatever we're calling the law enforcement of this business life simulation or whatever. He could go to, like, the law enforcement and be like, hey, listen, Mr. Vairal Man said that he wouldn't speak out bad about me, and he did. And obviously, this wouldn't help John at all, but it would put me through the dirt. I put him through the dirt for my benefit, and so I think he was just trying to drag me down with him. But what I did, being the genius I did, I already predicted he would try to do this, okay? So I went to the law enforcement, and I paid him exactly what John paid me to not speak out bad about him. So instead of John paying me to help him stay in power, he actually just paid me to get him out of power, and get little buddy-buddy with the law enforcement, so I wouldn't get caught for any of my other illegal acts. So now with John out of the way, the biggest threat left for my #1 richest and most stamps is Timmy. So Timmy, he had a bike, he was selling stuff out of a van, he had stamps upon bills bucks. He was living the life, okay? I, on the other hand, was still not the richest person. I don't know why Gray is doing this, what an idiot. Now because my casino didn't offer any stamps, and it was really hard to entice people to come to my casino, with this concert that I was hosting, I was able to convince my teacher to let people get stamps for going to this concert. So now, not only were people going to the concert because they wanted to see funny Mr. Little Banana, like, rap or whatever, about whatever he raps about, I don't know, I don't remember any of this. They also went just for the stamp. So now that I've almost ensured that people will go to this concert, I bumped up the prices, okay? I made it a little more valuable, a little supply and demand action. I also offered people sponsorships if they wanted, since everyone was going to start going to my concert. I went over to company after company and I said, hey, basically I offered a ton of different companies to be like advertised in this epic concert I was doing. Kind of like an intermission where I was just all sponsorships. And what I got in return was just like, I didn't even make them pay me really. I said, I just wanted free stuff. So oh my. I went to like an airlines company and I said, hey, if you just give me free flights for like the rest of the week, because the week was almost over. I was in my final stretch of trying to take over this class. And surprisingly, they accepted. And I did that with a lot of things. I also went to like to a car dealership and I let them have me like free car insurance or whatever. I don't know. I just basically did this all so I could get so many stamps. Because every time you went on a flight, you got a stamp, so I could just go on flight after flight for stamps. I basically broke the system. Also, at one point when I was really poor, I think I like donated to charity, and then I took money from charity like 5 times in a row, just because I got a stamp for donating, and I also got a stamp for being poor. So, it was a weird method, but I got a couple stamps that way as well. Now that I secured myself as having the most stamps and I knew no one could overtake me because I could just have an infinite supply, that's when I decided to not only earn more money, but stop Timmy from earning money. So what I did is I went to Timmy and I bought his entire stock. I almost went broke buying everything he offered, and then I sold it all for double. Now Timmy did get very rich off of this strategy because he was still selling. Nothing really changed for him. He was still making his money. He was proud. And I was making my money, I was happy, yet somehow Timmy still earned more than me. He just had such a large supply of food, as well as making a limit to only 2 per customer. Rude. So I knew that I had to find a new way to make money. So with Timmy stopping right— oh frick, bro, when did you get here? I may have lost that game, and I may have been super stacked, but that's okay. I'm gonna leave it in just because I said so much and I don't want to have to re-say it. So now we're down to the second to last day of this simulation. Timmy is still thriving, his mom is still buying him tons of candy, and he's still making millions of dollars. Not actually millions, I think there's only a couple 100,000, but still. My casino was dying because no one wanted to go to a casino. Timmy didn't allow me to buy any more than 2 of his products a day, so I couldn't sell it for more. Remember how I teamed up with the good old law enforcement man? That's when it would come in handy. I basically told Timmy that I would expose him and tell everyone that he was doing all these terrible and scammy things. Oh my gosh. When in reality, it was me who was doing like all this scamming and all these bad things. But I was just gonna target it on him. Oh, this guy's an iron sword! And if Timmy was gonna come out and say that I'm lying and this is all false and I was doing it instead, I had the law enforcement behind my back. I would pay him like double for this. Fireball! Now I gave Timmy basically 2 options. One, he could get comboed by Gray. Wow, okay. I definitely won that game, don't worry. Basically, option 1 was he just accepts that I'm gonna expose him, well, falsely expose him. I'm gonna be Twitter, basically. I just said I'd be Twitter. And I was gonna just make the people against him, no one would buy from him. He'd probably get fined a lot of money, and his entire career would probably be over. Or option 2 was he gives me 70% of all of his profit, and I keep everything he says under wraps. But if he ever does come after me, I just have the law enforcement behind my back to stick to my side, and that if any case were to pop up, I would win, and he would lose. Now you might be thinking, Vairal, why did you even give him the second option? You could have just taken him down. What's the point of giving him an option of— why is this guy just keep respawning at the worst times? Fireball! Oh, I broke the wrong block, I'm gonna cry. And the reason I gave him an option 2 is because option 1 didn't exist. Yeah, I'm in cahoots with the law enforcement, I'd be able to win. But what would I do after the fact? I have no way of making money. All the people would know about what I've done, because Mr. Timmy can just be like, hey, he was lying. So even though it would say I win, like, on paper and in court or whatever, realistically, Timmy would still win. People would still buy from him, as well as everyone would make sure that no one gave me any source of income. But luckily, little Timmy didn't figure this out, and he still thought that if he were to take the first option, he would basically go to jail, which isn't really the case. I mean, yeah, he'd probably go to jail, but then someone could just, like, buy him to get out or whatever. This life simulation wasn't very realistic to life, I will say that. So with Timmy picking option 2, all I had to do was just wait for people to buy, and I would start getting so much money. I also convinced him to give me like a free item every day or whatever, so I could like get a free Kit Kat or whatever. Best deal ever. Now the sad thing is, okay, now with me doing all this, you probably think it's guaranteed that I'd win, and there's no way I can lose. You're wrong. You're so very wrong. It comes to the last day where we just count up all our money, see who's won, and apparently, oh my. Apparently I should have asked for a couple extra percentages, because Timmy still had more than me. Timmy had like 30k more than me still. I don't understand how. Timmy must have just been so rich before I struck the deal that even with me making more money than he is off everything he's selling, he still ended up with more money than me. So having counted up our money, and me having lost the last simulation, losing by just a mere 30,000 bills bucks, I went to my last period on the last day of school, defeated. What the heck, bro? There I was in my last class, depressed that I lost the last simulation. Upset that I'm not a bills bucks billionaire, and instead I'm a bills bucks bozo. Oh, whoa! I don't want to be a bedwars bozo. I'm already a bills bucks bozo. As I'm putting my last piece of paper that I've collected from my last class on the last day of school, I find money. Bills bucks to be exact, and $40,000. That put me over Timmy by $10,000, thus making me the richest person in the entire class. Now, would anybody know that I was the richest person? Probably not, because that class was already over, and Timmy was already crowned the winner. Even though the class might not know that I won, and my reputation is kind of ruined through all the scamming I did now that the class is over and I have no power, it was worth it. I became the richest person in my 7th grade business class, and to this day, that is my greatest accomplishment. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing, and maybe join my Discord so you can meet other people who also enjoy my content or hate my content. Some people hate my content there, like me, I guess. So thank you all so much for sticking to the end of this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.